So you know what really shocked me was a while ago, an exercise class we started working on balance, and I had no idea my balance had deteriorated as much as it had, and it actually frightened me because I thought I could fall, and I had no real thought about falling except learning to pick up my feet, which we were doing, but I had not realized how bad my balance was. And so we started working on it, and it's just simple exercises have made the hugest difference.
Like what?
Well,
You may well ask.
thank you for asking. Okay, well, there's certain things you can do. First of all, I think we should get our balance if there is an issue, and most people have got balance problems usually from about the age of 50. I've heard. Actually, I've heard it as early as 20, but we don't really notice. But so if you have a problem with your balance, maybe you should get that checked out.
Mm-hmm.
I think definitely. But once that's all done, then there are things you can do. There are great exercises. First of all, though, what I had to learn was that you needed something nearby you could hold on to. So if you're at home, you do it near the sink, or you do it near a table, or you do it near anything, because it's really important. You don't realize how quickly you can fall when you do your balance exercises. If you're near the sink or somewhere you can hold on to, and then you go on one foot, and then you close your eyes, is a really big one. And then you do the other foot, and you close your eyes, and you notice the difference it makes when you close your eyes. It's really important. You're actually, the interesting thing is when you're doing your balance exercise, it's also you feel your whole core, your whole your all your leg muscles and your core muscles. You can feel them really working because it's just to stay on balance. So it's actually a really good exercise to do. You can even do it when you're brushing your teeth. One foot or the other foot, and so when you're doing something else, when you're doing your balance exercises, is a big one because it takes your brain.
Yeah,
It's harder if you do anything else while you're doing your balance exercises. Even looking around and trying to move your eyes around, and even following your finger when you're moving your eyes. Following your finger with your eyes
and balancing.
Gosh, try that one.
Yeah,
that's a really good one. But it gets better. This is the thing. That the other shock is that how much better
you've got
my balance is now.
I must try some of those because I must admit I've had a couple of good falls when I've been out walking, and it's been something like I've tripped over the edge of the the footpath, and once I came home and my glasses were all skew with, and my face was all scratched. I've still got some marks there.
I saw you for lunch not long after you'd fallen and your face was scratched.
And once you fall, you lose your confidence.
Oh, man.
Don't you?
Well, I guess we lose our confidence anyway a little bit. So, when we think we're going to fall, but we haven't. But can you imagine once you have fallen, the loss of confidence.
And the other thing that happened when I'd had the fall, I don't know which one of the grandkids it was, but I must have tripped, because I can trip over my feet at the drop of a hat. And I went to stumble, and then the family didn't trust that I wasn't going to fall all the time. Oh. So between having, your confidence, and once your confidence gets jilted, you sort of...
I think everything changes if you lose confidence.
Yes.
Everything changes.
Yes.
Absolutely.
And I was just thinking about the falls thing. I can't remember when it was. It was between when I had my knee done and now. I was taking Charlie to the bathroom to give him a shower because he was a bit dirty.
That's a dog.
That's the dog. It was my husband. And I picked him up, and I was going into the ensuite because I shower him in there, and I hadn't picked up some shoes. Oh. And I tripped over. Charlie went one way, I went the other, gashed on my arm, and so you just need to be mindful that you pick up stuff.
Yeah.
And you have clear paths around your house that you're not going to fall over things. Because, as you get older, you do get a bit bumble-footed at times. And
absolutely. And this is exactly right. It's that whole thinking ahead stuff now, and it's about looking after ourselves by thinking ahead. That's a big one. And I think that young people don't understand why we might take longer to do things. Half the time it's because we're looking around making sure we're going to be okay to get from A to B. in a very dignified manner.
Well, I must admit, I hadn't sort of thought about
Mm.
the configuration, but it's how our furniture is situated. And when the kids were little, we were mindful of sharp edges so that they didn't fall over and hurt themselves. I think as one ages, one needs to be slightly mindful
Yes.
of what's there.
Of other sharp edges in our lives. That's exactly right.
That's right. And that's sort of, several stitches later and all the rest, that was brought it home to me. So now I try and make sure I move my shoes so that when I get up, 20 million times during the night, I know I'm not going to trip over my shoes and things like that.
Absolutely. And I guess the stronger you are and the more balanced exercises you do, even if your shoes were there, perhaps the less likely you would be to actually trip over them.
Absolutely.
And
the other day, when I was out walking with the dog, I stumbled on something, but I didn't even give it a thought. I just lifted my foot up, whereas once upon a time, or not so far back, I would have,
Well, you see some people just stopping, don't you? Stopping in the street or stopping what they're doing, and you think, what's going on? And I think it's that shock that something might get in the way. You think, well, are we always going to be stopping and starting? Is that who we're going to be, or can we try and do something to
and
avoid
it's doing
that?
those exercises you
Absolutely.
suggested. I think that makes it, that much better.
Yeah.
You've got that much. You're that far ahead of the pack.